The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
Ultraverse comic books on sale today.
Comic book store. Let's go.
Whoa.
Line! That way!
The beat drops and you have to see the disco duck. That's all there is to. You know, when you were a kid, we actually had. I don't know if you remember this dancing duck.
Already know.
You don't. Okay. So what it was is this little statue animatronic thing, right? It would be completely stuff of nightmares. If you remember this thing, I don't remember who gave it to you, but you push the button and it go disco, disco duck. You know, just
Oh no.
you don't remember this?
No, I don't.
Oh
But
my
I imagine it
gosh.
to be very annoying.
But it's like I didn't realize when we got that was an actual song. Like, what the hell was up with the 70s, man?
Oh wait, okay, I don't know the animatronic, but I found that song recently, and funny enough, it was in my recommendations for whatever reason. It was from like 14 years ago. It was a re-upload of the lyrics, and I went to the comments just to kind of like see what people were saying, and all of it was hate. It was like this was the worst song of the generation.
Disco,
I heard this in every mall. I hated this. Like there was not a single positive
It's a
comment.
soundbite now. Disco.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
It's like, man, Donald Duck gets a song and everybody hates on it. It's
I
horrible.
can't really blame him. Have you heard?
Yeah. Donald has his own style, just like we do right here. Good evening,
style?
everybody.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there you go.
We should probably write this stuff before we talk over each other.
But that's what the fun is. That's how you bring everything in. That's why it's called kamikaze. So we just suicide.
Suicide.
Okay. Oh, probably can't say that on YouTube.
Oh no.
Anyway, so welcome. This is C. Mikey L coming to you on the video phone, coming on a Saturday night, hoping that maybe you're getting ready to go out, or maybe you're coming home and winding down. And you thought, hey, maybe
Let's ruin your day. It wasn't bad before.
Wow. Don't be so self-deprecating yet. So anyway, I'm C. Michael Lanning, obviously, independent artist, done work for Arrow Comics, Hasm Productions, and other things. And this over here is this other person.
I am his offspring.
You don't have to tell people that.
I tag along sometimes. He pays me, so that's cool.
What's your name? I can't remember.
Well, you gave it to me.
That's why I can't remember. You gonna tell them your name?
Oh, hi, I'm Jaden.
Jeez.
You should know that by now.
So anyway, when a couple of weeks ago we looked at Chris Bachalo's work on one of these, right?
Yeah.
And you wanted to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
All right. So
How dare he be so talented?
yeah, there he'd be so talented. So here's the thing. In the comic community, especially in the indie comics community, one thing that consistently comes up with, how can we be the next Image Comics? And here's the deal with this, okay?
I've never asked myself this.
All right, well, but okay, well, no, you haven't asked yourself this. You're 18 years old. What do you know?
Time will come, I'm sure.
Well, there are certain things that set up this aspect. But when I was coming up, and you don't have it as much anymore, but when I was coming up, you had what was called these like superstar comic artists.
Okay.
There was this huge thing. You had Rob Liefeld, the Captain America bosom. He was in a commercial. It was a Gene commercial directed by Spike Lee. You don't know who Spike Lee is.
I have none of these names.
Oh my gosh.
I get Captain American bosom. That's all I.
And I have now failed
the only thing
my
that made it click.
offspring. Ephraim's in the chat. Hey, says hello, Ephraim. What's
Hi.
happening? So no, okay. Point being is that at that point in time, there was a lot of comic artists that were coming up. This is what actually made Image possible to succeed.
Okay.
We had certain magazines like Hero Illustrated, which was kind of the comic book form of. I don't know if you ever heard of Fangoria, things like that, which were magazines featuring horror movies and horror fans and stuff like that. It's kind of an underground thing. So you had the same thing with comics, and later on afterwards that you had Wizard Comics.
Okay.
Or one Wizard magazine, which was also featuring comics. And for me, when I was coming up here in Louisiana, that sucks. We didn't have many places that sold comics. We still had the racks in grocery stores and things like that. But when it came to indie stuff, we didn't have a specific comic book store. And if we did, they didn't last very long, or they were across town.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't have a vehicle or somebody to take you to them, you weren't really getting there.
No, we still don't have very many.
Well, we have two.
Yeah, those are okay. We get a lot of indie stuff.
They don't. But no, they do. They have them in a box stuffed up underneath something, all the way in the back.
Oh yeah,
That's
but you have to go looking for it.
Well, I mean that's how it is, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so here's the thing: what I thought we would do, and I would like to, and this is completely with respect to all those artists. I'm not here to bash anybody from the '90s or anything like that whatsoever. But I've picked 5 artists who were superstar artists at the time. I'm sure anybody who's tuned in, who has been in the comics, are going to know who these artists are. But I thought that for the most part, I've got pages from their first comic that was published. And I wanted to look at those, and then I want to compare it to some stuff that came later.
Okay.
Some of it's more current. Some of it was current to that point in time. Some of it was, when they were a little bit freer. And I want us to take a look at it and kind of go, we'll speculate what they learned, speculate how, that we could see the progression and maybe feel better about ourselves.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, right. So, let's go
judge people.
Let's go judge people. So, the first one up is probably one of the biggest from the 90s.
And who is this? Right off the bat, I got no.
Right off the bat. Wow. No, but okay. So, here's one thing that I'm going to say. During the 90s and the way print was, we probably lost a lot of detail and lines and stuff in this, right? So you're not getting the full of what somebody's doing. Plus, at this point in time, you normally had you had a penciler, an inker, a colorist, a letter. Everybody was a separate person,
you still
right?
Kind of have that. That's why I can't.
Well, there's a lot of people. Comics. Well, no, see, that's the thing. That's a lot of people still want to follow that formula, and it's kind of like, okay, you can follow this formula all you want, but guess what? If you're in indie comics, guess what, guys? You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Isn't that great? That's great. That's fantastic. In fact, I would prefer somebody to be an inker themselves. However, some of these guys were able to have enough pull that they became their own inkers later on. And they became their own writers, much to their detriment. But we'll talk about that later.
I'm sure part of it was also speed, having multiple different people.
Okay, so before I tell you about this, what stands out to you about this composition and this?
Well, it's good composition, but right off the bat, I noticed his little fur pelt that he's got going on.
Oh yeah, that's Sasquatch. In case you can't tell. So this is Alpha Flight. This is This was the kind of a Canadian superhero team in Marvel.
Oh, okay, that explains the jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll vote that.
Wow. The views and opinions expressed.
No, they don't deserve rights. We can make fun of them all we want.
Golly, this is not. You watch too much South Park.
Oh, whatever.
Okay, so what do you think?
I think it's pretty good. It's very. Where did you say this came out? Because I don't want to get.
This came out. I think this one is Alpha Flight number 51. I think. Don't quote me on that. 1985.
Yeah, that shows. Absolutely.
Okay, so this is the first splash page that you have been commissioned to do for Marvel, right?
Yeah.
So you're taking a lot. I'm kind of taking into consideration the background.
There's a lot going on
Well, in this composition, you have the triangle,
Yeah,
right?
you can see that.
You can see it. And the thing about it is, but there are things he's very, and it's a male, in case
Okay.
uh, that he uses to point to the characters to what you want to see, right? You have her beams
Yeah, okay.
highlighting her. You have these lines
You have those
coming
green
down through the
beams
thing. You have
that are
these
all
green
pointing
things
towards the character.
that's to the character, right?
Are those, what is it? Dynamite? What is it? The green stuff.
I don't know. Do you have to know what that
Little
is?
flying objects.
It is.
You're not gonna really notice.
No,
it.
but it's a tool, right? It's a tool
Yeah.
to go towards the characters. Okay.
You got all these lines. Around
This
them.
is the man himself, DC Comics president or whatever he is now, Jim Lee.
Oh, Jim Lee.
Yeah.
Wow. This
Why
is
do you
good.
say it like you know who that is?
I don't know. I want to sound cool.
Yes,
Yeah, I
this
know
is
that guy.
this is Jim Lee, and this maybe this is his first splash page. I know this is his first debut as a public.
First splash page.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what splash page is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you read manga.
Oh,
So,
they have
excuse me.
those too. I think if they qualify, they're not colored, but I assumed.
But we're going to get into some black and white stuff later too.
All right,
Somebody did.
cool. Even older stuff.
Well, it's not too much older, but yeah. So okay, so this is a splash page, and you see the little lines and everything. Now I remember them talking to Jim Lee, and I don't know if he pulled out artwork or whatever to show that in actuality, we might not even see all the lines that he actually added to this because of who was inking it,
Yeah.
the printing, the coloring. At this point in time, this is before digital coloring.
The whole process.
The whole process, right? So it downplays a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit of detail here, but there's no telling how much there was originally.
I kind of look at the eyes of this guy back here. It's just the top of the eye and an iris, right?
Oh yeah.
But can you imagine how crowded that could be if it was like the whole eye?
Yeah, no. See, that would be distracting.
It would be horrific.
It would be bad.
So anyway, so here we're gonna go move on to a regular page
Okay.
now. It's very structured, right? I kind of want you to pay attention to how structured this
It's very
is.
clean.
It's very clean.
It's something I'm not used to. I'll put it that way.
Of clean?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like the stuff I read is all over the place or nothing, but it's pretty geometrical, I guess is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. And Marvel, from what I understand with Marvel, is that you had to, like, you were sticking with a certain plan. They didn't really let you go and do your own thing at that point in time. So he was probably following at this part in time. This kind of another artist named John Byrne, who just kind of has a John Byrne frizz.
I love that.
Do you?
I do like that hair. It's cute.
I don't know what character this is. She reminds me a lot of Jubilee, but this is before Jubilee, I think.
Well, she's adorable. I like her.
You like her?
Yeah.
But see here, this, like, okay, you can see the eyes are off a little bit right there, right?
Yeah, a little bit. But again, it's comics. You're gonna glaze over. You're gonna read the text. You're gonna go into the next panel.
Absolutely. So I mean, so let's go to the next page, and here we go. They're all now. Look, we won! Woo!
Oh, triumph!
Yeah. So we go throw our arms in the air. It's just like, yay! That's what they do.
We're gonna go.
Now this one, I mean this.
This one, okay. I like the composition on the last one's okay.
Yeah.
It's a little chaotic. All of the colors very 80s. It's so saturated.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's at that point in time they're just trying. That's what the inker and the penciler was supposed to do. They were supposed to kind of get on, that side. They're supposed to give you. It was their job to tell you the shading and all that other stuff like that. Yeah, and coloring at that time wasn't as regarded as it is now.
Regarded.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, we just color it because that's not really what brings people to it. It's the pencils and the inks.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
But well, that's how it used to be. That's not necessarily the case anymore. But Ickty 5, what is up? Total excellence. What's happening, man?
What's that emoji?
Yeah, huh?
What's that emoji? Is there an emoji? Am I hallucinating?
No, it's a gecko, right? Oh, it's a gecko. I think it's a lizard.
Is
Ickty,
it?
yeah, that makes sense.
The computer emojis are so janked, dude. It looks like a green blob.
No, it doesn't.
How close are you to the screen? Okay, that's clearly like a crocodile, dude. That's an alligator.
You think it's an alligator?
Oh my gosh, get your eyes checked. I can't believe
I don't know.
I wonder
What?
if it shows up like that for everybody else.
Oh my god.
I'm used to my iPad
I'm not going to
emojis.
sit here.
You know, the superior emoji.
Thanks for showing up. And now they're gone. No, not really.
No, I wouldn't blame them.
How about no? Because you're you're picking a. Well, I tell you what. One day we'll actually do a show which will be fun for everybody on art styles of emojis.
That would be fun.
You think so?
I could just critique a bunch of Japanese people working on their last dime.
Wow.
What?
Hold on. I think I have a banner for that.
Oh, come on!
I'm telling you, no, you can't do that. What are you doing?
What did I say? I mentioned a race. That is
no,
what-
you mentioned.
Oh, and suddenly no. Okay, what I'm getting at is people who are paid like they're a dime by Apple to individually draw these little characters. I would love to bully them. Some of them are just bad. Like, have you seen Facebooks? They're not great. I don't use emojis on Facebook for a reason.
Look,
If,
I don't even know what to
if
say
you're going
to
to
you
give
at
me
this
the
time.
option to bully people live as entertainment, I'm taking it. I'm not wasting a chance like
But
that.
look, classic coloring was layered on top of cyan, magenta, and yellow.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know what that is, right?
What is it called?
CMYK.
Yeah, okay. Why?
And that's what we
Where'd
have
the
to
K
do.
come from?
1,000.
Nah.
1,000
doesn't start with a K. It starts with a T.
No, that's K is a.
Oh my gosh, are you actually explaining this to me?
My gosh, you actually acting like you don't know?
Well, sometimes I am stupid.
Okay, so we spent time in the past, right? Okay, so he's coming up, right? This is where he's at. It's pretty basic. He's got some textures. He's got, there's a couple things that I didn't put in here of him doing the tanks. You can kind of see in the background here.
Yeah.
He gets really integrate of it. But now, see, the next thing is, now when this came out, this was huge. Let's go back for just a second.
What is this span?
This was
Is this a cover and a back? What's going on here?
okay. This was 1992, 91, 92. And this is X-Men #1. They've given Jim Lee his own book. All right.
About time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's deserved his own book for years. I still don't know who
sure.
that is.
I think in all actuality, he took it.
He took it.
He took over the X-Men from who was doing the Uncanny X-Men was Mark Silvestri.
I also know this name, yes.
And even to the point, like Mark Silvestri didn't even know that they had given the Uncanny X-Men to Jim Lee to draw.
Ooh.
And Jim Lee's like in the
See?
hallway, like, yeah, man, I'm sorry. Or
Oh,
whatever the case was.
I wonder what that nerd credit would look like.
Oh my gosh. They actually showed up in an episode of Bob, which was Bob Newhart. You would know it. You've seen me watch Newhart before.
Maybe so. Probably tuned it out, like I do most of the things you
You've watched Elf, right?
The movie?
Yeah.
I vaguely remember watching it when I was like.
Do you
6.
remember the elf that was taking care of Buddy?
No.
Not even right.
Not even a little bit.
We've got to go back. I'm going to show you
You
some.
don't even
Bob
like
Newhart.
Elf.
Bob.
Am I allowed to expose you like this?
No, I don't like Elf.
No, you don't. You explicitly
I
said it every
absolutely do
Christmas.
not like
I'm
Elf.
not allowed to watch it.
I didn't say you weren't allowed to watch it.
But you never put it on.
But I just, what? Am I supposed to just feed you trash?
Oh, hot take, hot take.
Is that what that is? No, seriously.
Oh, we're about to get some comments.
Oh, maybe so.
Oh, no.
Maybe so. But you know what's funny is, when I did not like Saturday Night Live when it had Will Ferrell,
You did.
Sherry Terry, Amy Poehler.
That's crazy because
Tina
that's
Fey.
like a great cast to me.
Well, no, but see, that's the thing, right? It's like, okay, but they all went on to do things that I did like.
Yeah, they were better on their own, believe it or not. Like
when they branched out from
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live. But that cast did not. Jimmy Fallon does still not do anything for me at all.
Yeah, we cannot recover him.
I'm
sorry.
Who else was part of the cast? But then you come in and it starts bending over to Andy Samberg, Bill Hader, and they did some
Those
stuff.
are the best.
Chris
I'm
Parnell.
sorry, that was my favorite of the
But
cast.
and they did some funny stuff. But I didn't watch it then because at that point in time I didn't really like Saturday Night Live anymore. My people from Saturday Night Live was you had John Lovitz, Dennis Miller, kinda, but Adam. See, I keep wanting to say Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler, Dana Carvey, Mike Myers. That was the people that were there for me.
Oh, showing your age.
I am showing my age. That's what we're doing here.
Myers.
So this came out, big deal. This also came out kind of at the same time the animated series came out. But this is only a snippet of a fold-out cover. This was back, front, and I think there was a fold in it.
Would I be a fool for asking why Wolverine is red?
That's brown.
That is so clearly not brown.
Well, okay, but it's like brown and gold. Because believe it or not, he didn't always have the yellow and blue suit.
No, I never mentioned it. To me, it was yellow and black, but okay. That's all I've seen.
Well, you're wrong.
I could be colorblind and undiagnosed.
Yes.
But that is so obviously red, and I will not take anyone else's opinion on it. Thank you.
Okay,
Look how compared to Magneto. That's totally red.
It's maroon.
It's the same
It's
shade.
a darker shade.
It is the same shade.
Yeah, okay, you're diagnosed colorblind right here on this show.
No.
You're colorblind.
Okay. All right, says the guy with glasses.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
That doesn't mean I'm colorblind.
I've gotten defensive. You hurt my feelings. I'm not crazy.
Okay, so this was a fold-out cover. Boom, 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 right?
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Very dynamic, right?
It's very.
And the best thing that I liked that he did was he took the worst one and he stuck her in the back.
No.
Oh, freaking cannot stand Jean Grey.
Well, she's okay. I don't think they've ever done her justice, really.
No, they have. She just sucks.
Oh, too bad.
Oh, God.
A little bit of a, what do they call it? Mary Sue? This is a teensy bit.
Yeah.
I think she's a pretty good
Scott! Oh, Scott! It was like she was based on every freaking soap opera character everywhere. Like, oh, so.
But Storm, look at her. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Epic. Look at the handout and everything.
Oh, this is a cool spread.
It is. Can you, okay. So what it looks like to me is like he separated these compositions, right? And probably so, because I can't remember if this was just, I know this was the cover. So this had to fold out here where Magneto is, right? Mm-hmm. And then there had to be this. So this is probably like almost like a 4-cover spread. So he's designing one cover here where the Marvel cuts off.
Yeah, I can see it.
And then over here, right?
Mm.
So, I mean, that makes sense. They don't all look like they're looking at Magneto.
No.
But.
Weird reference, but have you ever seen like the thumbnail for reaction videos? That's totally what this kind of looks like. Magneto's YouTube channel.
This is like X-Men YouTube. Yeah, it's like Magneto reacts to Jim Lee's X-Men.
That's all I'm seeing when looking at this.
I will crush them.
Including the big like red circle from Cyclops' beam. Anyway, it was so random.
I wonder what he was using to block the beam. It had to be like metal particles, right?
Oh man, what? Like this, it's very.
There was actually a comic where he ripped the metal out of Wolverine.
You told me about
this.
This.
Wolverine walked around some time with some skeleton claws.
That's kind of sick. Wait, didn't that happen in a movie or am I tripping? I might be misremembering.
No, he had in Wolverine Origins, he had claws.
Oh yeah, he did.
And then they gave him adamantium, and that's why that happened.
Okay, so yeah, I was clearly getting mixed up, but I do remember you telling me that.
So this is 1991, 92. He's hitting the big thing. They haven't done Image yet, or whatever the case is, but he's on this book, and this is big time, right? Okay. So later on, this is a page out of it. Hey, no, stop.
No spoilers. We haven't gotten there yet.
All right. So now we've looked at one page, and now we looked at another. Okay. Remember how structured that other one was?
Yeah.
Now you see they've kind of given him a little bit more
freedom.
Like space. And we've got this like swoosh up, right? It's an X, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, coming down here and then her arms.
Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah.
That had to have been intentional.
I'm sure. Well, he's very intentional. You know what he says he likes to use is the alphabet.
The alphabet.
To make a composition.
Just any of the letters?
Yeah.
I would like to see someone try to do that with J. Is that possible?
Oh, sure. I mean, you would have a character in front. If you do the J you could do a J and like a lay down.
Oh, maybe
coming at you.
Well, now I've got something to try when this is over.
Oh, absolutely. See, that's what we're here about.
We're learning.
But even still, in some of the smaller stuff he's doing here, you can see a lot more detail is at it, and then he gets dynamic. Boom.
Whoa.
This is from Batman Hush. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, this is after he's left Image.
Okay.
Okay. Like boom.
That's
just
pretty sick.
Straight
perspective.
up.
It's very effortless.
Yeah. This to me is the antithesis to the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like someone who knew what they were doing.
Well, it's not saying that looking back at what Todd did, it made sense. But
did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I looked at it today, actually.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
I did. I was going to include it, but I didn't want to get into that conversation. What gets me is the damn architecture in the background.
Yeah, that's pretty silly.
Oh my gosh. It's like, why, man? But you know what? It's like there's a scribble. It's like this scribble right here is scribble.
Scribble.
It's scribble. But it scribbles so well that it's like it looks like something.
Oh wow.
Right?
No one's even looking back there, man. Why you gotta put so much detail into it?
And not only that, look at the windows.
What a narcissist.
It's the reflection of the city.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Who's even looking at that stuff?
Jim Lee is. That's what.
Damn.
That's who's looking at it.
That was
what?
Really good composition.
Mm-hmm.
The way his cape kind of comes out like that really fills the rest of
I
the
think
image.
it was a J composition. Look, William Russell said it. Everyone is. There you go. Everyone is looking at it. Absolutely. So of course, this is also from the same comic. And this is the one that I wish they would have adapted into a movie. And supposedly, blah, 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 the Will Pattinson was kind of, I think, or whatever. And it's like, no, it wasn't. Screw you. There's no way. Well, this almost involved almost every well, yeah, that kind of gets in the way too. This involved every villain. Okay, almost like it had Joker, it had Harley Quinn, it had Killer Croc, right? I don't think it had Penguin. I'm pretty sure it had Riddler, it had Poison, but it was enough of them that they could have made a movie out of this, and this would have been a good Batman movie, and we wouldn't have to see the origin story all over again.
Oh yeah.
And I promise you, this Batman wouldn't have hit his head on the interstate. So,
probably wouldn't have gotten so close to a bomb.
No, and but it also dealt a little bit with his past too, and who Hush was, and things like that. So it was manipulative. You see,
this little fella in the front.
I don't know. He was somebody that he was saving him from. I cannot remember. I haven't read Hush in a few years, but if you look in the background, you see that.
Ooh,
see that little bit of detail. Jim actually won. Yeah. Okay. Hush Batman also isn't year one Batman. Well, that's true. Neither was a Robert Pattinson one. It was year two, supposedly. So, I mean, if you still can't do your job after 2 years, bro. Anyway, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, but just the amount of detail and the amount of textures that he added to this.
Yeah, it's absurd. I mean, look at Croc, dude. Look at those arms. Look at the veins.
Yeah.
It's honestly kind of sickening.
Now, I'm sorry.
So
now, I saw a comic book artist today make this statement here, and like somebody asked him, and this is a professional comic book artist. He was how long it takes him to do a page, and he's like, it depends. I think this was a double page spread.
Oh, okay.
And it depends. And you always hear this pressure. If you're not doing a page a day, you're not doing it right. Okay. And
is that true?
Not necessarily. No. You might need to, depending on the deadlines.
Yeah.
But
I might be pushing it for some people.
I don't think he did this page in a day.
Huh.
Now, I could be wrong.
No, I don't think so. I don't care how skilled you are. There's just no way.
You aren't. Yeah. Thanks, Will. So, and that's the thing. But when you got this much clout, you get this much time, right? So, just like I've said, so you look back at his early stuff when he first had that Marvel, and you look at how rigid and it was, right?
Yeah.
So you can't judge a comic book artist necessarily on what they see.
Huh. I mean, yeah. I mean, the more clout he got, the less limitations he
So
had.
a pro with 10 years experience should be able to do 2 pages a day.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
I would imagine, but I can't even do.
And of
one.
course, now, but see, well, here's the thing too. Also, on that grounds, if that's what you do, right?
Yeah, if you've been doing it forever.
But I remember, like David Finch talking about, he's got two different styles when it comes to that kind of thing.
Okay.
He's got a style to where it's a
Very
lot more
Finch.
detailed if he's just doing one book a month.
Hmm.
But if he's doing 2 books a month, he kind of
It's more
slacks off
simplified?
one a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, that works.
So-
I mean, yeah, if you're trying to get it.
I mean, it all depends. but-
I could only imagine. It's not like the quality is dropping, but putting a little less effort into it.
Yeah.
Just to kind of meet the time. No
But-
lie, I do that anyways.
Huh?
I do that anyway.
Well, I think, you
I'm
get
so
some
lazy.
people, they'll do a page a day, and then you look at it, and it's kind of like, well, yeah, you could do that in a day because it looks like a coloring book.
Ha, yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
but if you're at the, yeah, but if you have learned your basics, you've learned your shapes, you've learned your formula, you actually have a workflow down, because that's what it really boils down to at the end of the day, is where your workflow is.
Golly, thinking about art so professionally, it makes me feel dead inside. I mean, I get it, and I'm probably gonna wind up getting into that kind of mindset, but it's for something that starts out as a passion to start treating it like work and nothing else. Ooh, it scares me. I'm sure
Yeah,
it's easier for
yeah.
a lot more people than it would be for me.
Well, it depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, I guess so.
It really does. So let's move on to the next artist. We spent too much time on Jim.
Oh, killer.
All right. So this is from Master of Kung Fu number 119. Hey, Mike. Michael DeFont is in the DeFonte or DeFont?
Defonte.
DeFonte?
Defonte.
Oh my god.
Hey, Mike. Welcome to the comments section. Sorry, man. I butchered my own name. Mike, yes. No, you did not miss the show.
No,
And
he
of
meant
course-
that as in he didn't miss us.
No, ow. I don't think that's what
I
you
don't
meant.
blame
Not
him.
Mike. No, but here's the great thing, folks. If you like, subscribe, share, comment, everything, like all the good stuff right here on the IndieComicsNetwork.com. Even if you're not here for our live show, you can always drop a comment, and I will try my best, and I
We will
usually do, to comment. to
Read
you.
it as best as we
That's
can.
right. I'll even get her to comment.
I'm illiterate.
It's not important, but I'll get her to comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait.
No.
Oh. So anyway, here we go. We have moved on now. This is the first of a man we just mentioned previously. This is Mike Silvestri.
Okay, cool.
All right. So this is a splash page, one of his first books. He was a guest penciler in I just said the freaking name. Master of Kung Fu.
There we go.
I think.
Yeah, that's what you said before.
Yeah, good. I think it was 119 is this one. There's a whole bunch of numbers, and I'm probably confused or whatever. So anyway.
We're not nerds. We don't have to know every single detail. If we get
But-
it wrong, tell us.
Okay, so but here it is. It looks pretty basic, right?
Yeah.
I
guess you
mean,
could say that.
I mean, it's really, this. He kind of
straightforward.
uses, mid-ground, foreground,
Yeah, okay.
force perspective. But his shadows, right? You could tell where the
light's coming from.
and I would love to see this page in pencils,
Me too.
because I don't think this printed does it justice.
No, I was just thinking that I'm sure there's a lot of details that you don't really get to see in the finished product. I'm sure it's a lot more impressive when it's just the pencils.
And but wait till we get into more
Oh,
of
no.
Mark Silvestri stuff. But that's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to tell you. Bob Newhart, who was a comedian,
Okay.
had several shows. Had his own show where he was actually a comic book artist.
Ooh.
I actually got this from the library and watched it like
Ah.
back to back. But Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri guest starred
Oh, did
on
they?
it. Yeah, like so that was kind of cool back in. And
As
this is in the
themselves?
90s. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it was at a comic book award show or something like that.
Oh, all right.
And Mark made some kind of comment about his agent, or Jim Lee did, whatever the case is. But that just goes to show you. Okay, so here we are in the 90s. You have this big time comedian, because he's been around for years, since the 60s. In fact, we're going to have to watch Miss Maisel,
Oh,
because
man.
they kind of reference Newhart in the first episode. But Bob's been around for years, has had almost every show he's had has been successful, except for Bob. But it's not the comic book problem that was with Bob. It wasn't. They changed it in the third season for him to go back to greeting
It's okay,
cards.
buddy. It's okay.
And it's not right. We
It's
wanted the
okay.
comic book. We want Mad Dog.
Oh.
We wanted Mad Dog.
Oh, it's okay, buddy.
But that just goes to show you that at that point in time, that people were even paying attention, even
To
comedians, to comics.
Comic book
Right.
artists. That's crazy.
Somewhere,
I feel like you don't
somebody
see that.
somewhere dropped the ball. I'm not pointing fingers, but
Ooh.
somebody somewhere dropped the ball. That's all.
I feel like you are pointing fingers. in
I'm
your
not.
brain.
I'm not.
Maybe a little bit.
Well, remember what we talked about earlier. Now, but look at all this. Okay, even though it has a realism to it, except for this guy right here.
What is the?
Well, no,
the
it's a
sound
character, right? He looks out of place, but that's the character that was in. He's kind of like a narrator or whatever.
Okay, well, he's my favorite character just from this page.
There you
alone.
go. See, but it still maintains a cartoonish flow.
Yeah.
This has this Johnny Quest feel to it, right? And
Still exaggerated.
but Marvel and everything got into a point there later on in the early 2000s where they only wanted artists who were making realistic looking art.
I completely blame
It's
film
like,
for that.
well, you have Alex Ross, who is fantastic. Alex Ross he does a lot of the paintings and stuff like that, which is fantastic. But even Alex Ross is not realistic
yeah.
in a sense. He still has a sense of style, but they almost wanted a photorealistic, and I think that really
I don't like those styles.
no, that kind of kick away.
That's what drew me pushed me away from comics for a long time because I thought it was just like you ever see those paint filters in photo apps? That's what they all looked like to me. They looked like snippets from Iron Man pasted with the filter, and I couldn't stand it. It didn't look fun. It didn't look engaged. Like I could get engaged with it. It just doesn't. It didn't interest me.
Yeah.
I like the cartoony stuff.
And Daphne saved you.
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Did she
I don't. Yeah, probably.
hear? Mother is eavesdropping.
Yeah, of course. Look, so she's always watching.
Always.
But
Big mom.
but again, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. And how many panels is this? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's an average of 9 panels. And
Mother, sorry.
and he's given this entire thing. How much of this has background to it? One panel has background.
Yeah.
And then there's somebody who gets it. Well, there's no backgrounds in some of these panels. Well, no, you can't have backgrounds in all these panels, and it distracts from the action, right? There is a balance here, and I guess he could have put it wouldn't have hurt necessarily in some of these middle panels to put something there, but
no one's gonna be paying attention to that. You were gonna be looking at the action right here.
I don't know. We paid attention when we saw Jim Lee's
that was
city.
different. That was a splash page, right?
Yeah.
So then that's different, right? That's a whole page taken up. You have to fill in spaces like that. But I think unless the perspective is necessary, you don't always need a background.
It still does add certain dynamics, but you see, but again, it's very rigid in what it's telling you. It kind of keeps this medium shot feel.
Yeah, it does.
It feels very safe.
It does.
And now here we get in there, and now we're in a closer. See, and it's close up and stuff like that.
Faces in full detail.
Now I'll be honest, this panel right here with the two gentlemen and the heads here, it doesn't look like it's.
No, something looks a little off.
It looks a little off. Like
It looks like a newborn grandpa.
It's not. But you got to think. I've got so many panels, and then here we have this thing here that I do not like this at all in any comic page, and I'm kind of disappointed because I didn't notice this before. The arrows.
Oh no! Is it showing you what direction to read?
Direction to read it in.
If you have to do that, you're doing it wrong.
I mean, I don't want to criticize.
But I feel like, okay, there should be some kind of flow to the panels, right? If
But,
I need to be told which direction
And
to
I'm
go.
sure he knew this. The thing about this is, I think, again, it goes back to that rigidness that was given to them.
Yeah.
Some if you go and listen to some of the guys who worked for Marvel, and they talked about how they couldn't break a panel or whatever the case is, and you first got in there, they were very strict about it. Later on, you started to kind of move out.
Well, yeah, because he got a bigger name.
Right. So now here we go.
And they needed you.
So now here's him on Uncanny X-Men.
Okay.
Right. This is not Captain Marvel. That's Dazzler.
All right. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah. Just letting you know. Oliver.
Looks like another generic blonde
Yeah.
superheroine.
Well, that's Rogue, who because at
I
this
can
point
tell.
in time, I think Miss Marvel's in the hospital
Oh.
because Rogue put her there. Took it.
Oh, I love Rogue.
But now we're getting more dynamic. We've got some backgrounds. We've got, he's getting out there.
Yeah,
He's
you can
getting
see
known,
that.
right? So, but it's still very clear,
Yeah.
right? So
It almost feels like a coloring book.
almost,
It's very
but not
vibrant.
this. Now,
Is this more recent?
now he's very no. This is the same book as that last one.
Same, really?
Yes. And see here. So when you look at this and you go, okay, you could do this page in a day.
Yeah, I think you could.
Yeah.
I mean, the backgrounds would be the most concern.
And all it is really, like John Byrne said, lines.
It's lines, yeah.
Like circles, lines here. And there. So I think that's what it comes down to is what you depend on how detailed you want it to get.
Yeah.
Because here, let's be honest, there's no consistency here.
No, not really.
No,
not at all, actually.
Yeah, no,
Two completely different backgrounds.
Two completely different backgrounds. Like, so did she move
She's
to another
falling
section?
from the sky.
Well, okay, that she's just sliding down.
She's sliding down slowly.
Yeah,
because that's not the same setup at all.
No. But does it matter?
No.
Absolutely not.
You can tell it's the same area. I think that's all it should count for, really.
So, and freaking Rogue with her 80s style looking self.
She's
almost
adorable.
90s. We get to the 90s, is about 88, I think. Where it is. Now we're going to get into when Mark is unleashed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who is this?
This is Mark Silvestri.
The same dude?
This is the same guy.
This
is the darkness.
entirely different. This doesn't look like the same thing at all.
Exactly, because now this is him. This is it.
This is his true form.
This is it. And at this time, we did have a lot of problems. And I don't know about this one because I think at this point in time, Image has been around for a bit. When the darkness came out, which I don't know if you ever heard of the Witchblade.
No, but these all sound very 2000s.
Yeah, well, it's
Very
early,
2000s.
it's early 90s.
Yeah,
94,
no, that makes
95,
sense. That makes
96.
sense.
But he's unleashed. Here it is.
He's unleashed. Here it is.
Now
Yeah,
we don't have the rigidness that we did. Look, his panels are now slanted. And
I love
cutting.
that. Yeah. I was trying to figure out why I liked the structure of this more. And it's
this is obviously a double page spread, right? We're seeing he's like all over the place. Medium shots, medium shot.
So
Everything is just
more interesting.
I love
the
impact. Just look at the impact of that car and just right. And of course, you have a lot of lines. There is a lot of lines.
Yeah.
It's not as clear, but it really helps to the dark. I mean, the thing is called darkness. And this is the main guy. I cannot remember his name. I want to say it's Jamie something, but I don't think that's right. I read this and I cannot remember his name. Anyway, but so this guy's covered in darkness, but the most important thing you see is that gun.
Ooh.
Right? But here, let's hit another page.
Same book?
Same book, different issue.
Okay.
And look, I'm just gonna do whatever the hell I want to do.
This is fun.
Yeah.
This is a lot better than the other stuff.
Now, the next guy I'm about to show you, I can't help but wonder if he had an influence over these folks to really break out on what he was doing. Because I'm going to show you his first. It wasn't a whole book. It was an issue of Coyote number 11. I'm not familiar with Coyote. It was a Marvel comic. It was at the end of the 80s. Never heard of it.
No,
he had, it even says introducing blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay.
But what's interesting about this, all the rigidness that we just saw out of Mark Silvestri, we saw out of Jim Lee, who came earlier,
mm-hmm.
We're going to now see somebody break out of that was brand new. And I don't know how he did it, mostly because he probably talked them out of it.
Talked them out of it?
Knowing him. And anybody who is familiar with the comic scene probably knows who I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, from the first issue of Tom McFarlane ever did, Coyote number 11.
Oh.
This is not long after those other guys were putting out there.
When did this come out?
This is 1988, I think, also.
We can tell the panels are a little bit more... They're definitely closer to what we have now.
Yes.
They're not as rigid.
That broke out. It's broke out. He's got... Negative space. Oh, you see all that
Oh,
space around there?
yeah.
That would drive people. That would drive some of the older folks crazy.
I love negative space. It's an underutilized tool.
But the thing is why try to fill this up here when it doesn't? When this panel right here tells what you needed to tell, right? And then there's your background lines,
and it leaves you room to do cool stuff with the panels, and that's just as fun as the actual contents inside of the panels.
I think what's interesting is you're about to see that certain things changed for him, but they did not change for him.
Oh,
like he stays almost consistently to some extent. So he comes out, he's breakout superstar. Boom. Right. This issue says introducing Todd McFarlane. Baby. Now, here's this next page. Same book.
Okay.
All right. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, he's just
wow. Yeah, I like this.
So now I'm asking, did Todd's influence the other guys in breaking out of that?
I would guess so. I feel like it has. I can see the influence.
And what I think I take from this is, okay, the woman tumbling right here, right? It's actually good structure and things like this. And it forgives someone like maybe that face, these faces up here, and maybe this right here, because you got to think they're drawing this on a big board.
It's not digital. You can't zoom in.
Yeah, you can't zoom in. So, but I mean, but it boom, 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 and then you're.
And it's exciting. Like if I turned and found this, I'd just be so giddy to read what's happening.
And it's just black.
I know, more negative space. Like it's great.
It is, and this is, in all honesty, seeing this kind of stuff here, being able to research this today, looking at this, has renewed my interest and why I thought Todd McFarlane was such a good artist.
I can't say that before this I would have considered the same. I haven't seen too terribly great from him.
However, we have this.
I actually took a look inside.
Now, this was his first book. I don't know who let him do this. This is the editor. But we're about to go into that famous Spider-Man number 300. Oh, here's the last page on this. Just this. Boom.
Slash. I like
this
that.
Slash, right? It's a guy standing in the doorway. It's very, and that claw for a hand, just like.
Wow.
Yeah. He's definitely up the levels here.
Page. Look at the divider between the top.
Now here, Spider-Man number 300.
All right.
This is the famous Spider-Man number 300 with the cover that everybody has homaged to death.
Why? But why? With all due respect.
Yeah, but one thing he does not think he'll even tell you he doesn't think he's a good artist. He just makes it sexy.
Hey, it sells.
I do the same. But it's not in the sense like, oh, sex sells. He's talking about he just makes it sexy. He just makes it look.
It's appealing.
Right. Like, okay, he's the one that did this webbing. Okay. The spaghetti webbing right here.
Okay.
He pioneered that.
He did?
Yeah.
That was him? Well, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Little piece of history.
So this is from, this is Spider-Man in the black suit. And the thing about this is I'll let you know, and I'm sure many people who are watching already know this too. When they asked Todd McFarlane to come and do the Spider-Man book, he did not want to do it because Spider-Man was in the black suit.
What?
He did not want to do a black suit Spider-Man.
Why not?
At all. Because he wanted the original red and blue iconic Spider-Man. And you can't blame him for that, right?
Really.
You grew up with that. That's what you want to do. Okay. So he's like, I'll take over the book, but we got to get rid of that black costume. So this is the first one. They're doing the costume. Now here's what I think is interesting. This is a little more rigid than what we've already seen.
Yeah.
But in the panels that they
the
give
content
him
inside of it.
Yeah.
It's
the composition,
freer.
right? So you're not even paying attention to the panels.
These are.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is I like following this. Look at that one right there.
Yeah.
Sick. No one can tell what I'm pointing at. That's fun.
But which one? With the
this one, yeah.
Yeah, with the city and he's above it. Oh yeah, absolutely. You feel him swing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the way he did the swinging and everything. And I'm not trying to be a Todd McFarlane simp. I'm really not. Because like I said, it really, like I said, it really renewed my why he appealed to me now that
he's probably a legend.
Yeah, why I've come to that now that I know a little bit more than I did back then of art and composition and things like that. I wouldn't call myself pro level by a long shot, But
You're wiser.
yeah, there you go. Seeing this now is like,
Yeah,
so yeah,
it's
if he had these restraints, he did the best that he could with them and knocked it out the
I know.
park.
It almost seems like there were no restraints.
Can you see who this is about to introduce?
Maybe.
Say it.
I'm not saying.
Come on, who do you think?
I don't want to get bashed by a bunch of old geeks, dude.
You're not going to get bashed by anybody. They might laugh at you, but they won't. You won't see them.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes it better. I'm not saying it.
And there you go.
Whoa, who could have predicted this?
Now, I'll be honest. I'm not wild about this Venom.
No. Okay, this isn't the first.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's wild.
Yeah. So he's having problems, of course. Now, Eddie Brock is he doesn't like Peter Parker. Peter Parker has gotten rid of the symbiote for the most part and is still in the black suit.
Everyone knows this
And the
story.
symbiote wants revenge. Symbiote's mad. He feels rejected. Eddie Brock wants revenge for what Peter Parker did, exposing him over a picture. Kind of like the Spider-Man 3.
Don't say that.
No, it's a freaking Sam
Don't
Raimi,
bring it up.
but-
Don't bring it up.
Ugh.
We're trying to have a good night.
So anyway, but look how big he is. I mean, he was a timid. He's like a
large.
gorilla, right?
He's large.
Yeah.
They love muscles. Western comics.
But even this, boom, boom. It's like there's this triangle up here. This arrow points down, right? Throughout this whole, all three of these. Even though you have it here, you have it here, and you have it here. There's almost like a bigger one
Ooh,
that goes down, up.
that's a gnarly looking Brock, dude.
It is. Look at those lines. My gosh, I can't make it look that good. I mean, and you're just like all over. Lunging for your weapon, trying to fight me. Good. Boom. Karoom.
Oh,
Karoom.
look at that transition.
Yeah. See, this is look. Yeah, you can even see Venom with the nose here almost.
Oh God, I didn't notice.
Yeah.
That's so wrong.
But
Really pushing the limits here.
yeah.
Let's
So
cut it
anyway,
short.
so that's Spider-Man. Now he gets his own book.
Oh yeah.
That's all him. This is Spawn #1.
Spawn.
Image is now launched. This comes out. This was a huge book. Everybody was waiting for it, and it finally launches. And this is one of the first pages of it.
One of the first.
Yeah.
Wow, I like this.
And it's
I keep
just
saying
total.
that,
It's
but-
just total. Yeah, I know, man. You're supposed to hate on stuff.
I'm not
Freaking, you
I'm not very
count on
character
Gen
tonight.
Z to be like,
Negative.
yes. Oh,
Well,
you guys are
let's
boomers
try.
or something like this. Oh, this you call this good art?
I'm
Not
an
even.
old soul.
Yeah.
I guess because I'm positive.
That's,
Sometimes.
damn you. So yeah,
No, but look at those, like the card.
yeah.
looking
The panels.
That's really fun.
It's crazy, right? So does that not look like something that we just saw Mark Silvestri do?
It does. That's what I was
Right.
thinking.
And so it's like I'm not sure if that really works. If that was like, is did they follow? I know for a fact Sam Keith, who did the Max, was a fan of Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane because they were big at the time when he came out, right? And he wasn't very far behind them. But some of the stuff that he does with the torn capes for Mr. Gone, and people, well, what made you do that? Oh, I was trying to emulate Todd McFarlane, and those were like his idols at that point in time, and he was working side by side with them.
Wow.
Now Todd McFarlane was kind of screwing him in a way because when they were he was getting the same people who colored Spawn were the same people who were coloring the Max, and what was happening was Todd was throwing them bonuses to get Spawn done quicker, so the Max kind of got
No.
postponed sometimes.
The tea.
Oh, and
Wow.
the work, right?
That's nuts. I didn't think that those were both on at the same time.
Now see, and here's the thing: there's a lot of controversy that was going on here, and what I just learned recently is I read an interview with Marvel editor Tom DeFalco. DeFalco, DeFalco.
DeFalco.
Okay, whatever. Now you're gonna make fun of somebody's name.
My
Damn, aren't you Gen Z? Aren't you supposed to be, woke?
woke.
Woke?
No,
No.
baby. We're broke.
Oh wow! Don't do that kind of stuff. People are gonna think. Don't
Oh,
say
my
that
bad.
stuff. Anyway,
You ruined me. You tainted me.
please.
Too much influence.
But you always hear Todd McFarlane talk about how he went in there and we told Marvel this and this and this. Tom DeFalco's like, yeah, they went in there, and it was a mess. They didn't know what they wanted. They didn't seem to act like did anything. And the next day they announced that they were starting Image. So he pulls somebody over, and Tom wouldn't. They're still friends. Everybody's still friends. And Tom's like, "What? I thought you guys were trying to get a deal." He's like, "No, we were just trying to make it so Marvel couldn't give us a deal. That way we could make this public."
Yeah.
And that's how it kind of went. Whatever the case is.
Nice.
So at this point in time, Todd said, "Image doesn't get enough. We're not getting enough exposure and stuff." And there's all like, if you go back and you look at the Wizard magazine that I was talking about, the first issue features an interview with Todd McFarlane with doing Spider-Man. 12 issues later, and it came out monthly. It has a issue talking to Todd McFarlane about forming Image.
Oh, wow.
So this, it really helped. Some of the controversy really helped them get their foot in the door. Again, though, they were already superstar artists.
Yeah.
So
That's what their names were.
they were making appearances on sitcoms. They had a big time director directing a Gene commercial.
It was a
with
short
them in it.
time where comics were respected.
Were respected, right?
Not just a children's media.
Yeah. So, and that references that references me back to what I showed at the beginning before the intro.
Okay.
That was a commercial that used to air for Malibu Comics.
Oh.
Okay.
I was wondering what that was.
And
it wasn't very funny.
Malibu Comics was kind of third runner up to Marvel and DC at the time. And even at one point in time was rivaling second, I believe.
Seriously?
But I heard that from some Malibu people, so I'm not sure how true that is. Anyway, the fact is, and it might be, I don't know. But they were putting out, they put out that commercial and how huge it was. Malibu helped Image get off the ground because they were using their printer to print Image Comics or whatever.
Whoa.
But you got to think, at this point in time, there was television commercials that was so freaking 90s. I mean, that was such a 90s commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Then that's just one. They had at least three.
I honestly thought it was going to be a parody. I thought it was so nice.
It's so rad. It's so cool. Get your Capri Sun and Juicy Fruit and get you a comic book
Oh, my
store.
gosh.
That's exactly what it's like. So anyway.
I was waiting for the punchline.
So here we go. And then we have another page from Spawn, or it just follows. It just has this flow around, and it's almost like he has this flow here with the panels that come around, and then it's like this anti-flow to it, right? Like come at boom 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 boom. Who is bow? Nope, we're going to come this way. You're dead, and she's mourning, and that's.
I mean, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
What shape is this? Now I'm just looking at every single one to see if I could find shapes in it.
It's an E.
Is it?
No, I have no idea.
It looks more like an S.
It probably, yeah.
Like, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, to an extent, except for here.
Yeah, the big old block.
However, maybe it's a backwards S
Ooh.
with a backwards C. Why do you have to have just one alphabet?
That's true.
I mean, if you think about it that way.
The sky's the limit, baby.
There you go.
It's all up to your imagination.
So now, and then here we have a splash page. And
thighs.
what's interesting about this is, thighs. That's a lot of muscle in them thighs.
Yeah, they probably.
And he was known for these capes. The cape is just.
Oh, it's all over the place.
In the movie, they made a CGI cape.
Did they? Oh, they had to. Didn't
Yeah.
Did it look good?
No.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
But they did it.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
What else could you do?
Yeah, and I give it to him though. But the movie came out 97, 98. So it wasn't. It was. I mean, it was a small amount of time since this was released. Right, this had to be released in 93, 92, something like that. Maybe 94. I'm not positive, but yeah. So
it's a pretty good page.
But if you look at it, I mean, yeah, even still.
I mean, the cape is all over the place. And it's definitely the focus. I mean, that vibrant red on that dull background.
Yeah. Well, he pulls the cape back long enough to frame these guys back here to see
you
this,
see
right?
that.
And you have the chain.
Yeah.
You see that?
It's coming out.
That Spider-Man
really
chain.
Cool.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So the next guy, I was never really a fan of. I wasn't a fan of him. But when I started looking at some of his older stuff and really kind of starting to look at it, I kind of might become one.
Ooh.
So the next guy, this is Eric Larson.
Eric Larson.
Yeah.
The most normal name I've heard so far, I think. Besides maybe Jim Lee.
Mike's adding a like to help the channel on the stream. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Michael.
So this is from Megaton, and now I want you to take a look at this. This is older. This was 83. All right. He does a ton of stuff in this.
This is 83?
Yes.
Not colored.
Not colored. Black and white. This is probably, I think this is kind of an indie book. So he comes out and he's just, the backgrounds are awesome. The textures on the planet. Look at this on the planet.
Cool.
I think he used a lot. See, these are clouds here, right?
Yeah.
And I think most of us would draw the clouds, but I think he kind of formed the clouds with the lines. I'm not sure, but it's really interesting. He's got, I mean, the details in that.
It's very eye-catching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like these are very busy. That's a problem I have with some black and white comics.
Yeah.
They can't find a focus, but I'm not seeing that.
Well, he makes what you need to focus on clear, right?
Yeah.
Because look, right, for instance, this third panel on this page, what you need to focus on is clear. You have that head and you have the two figures. But right behind those two figures, this complicated, detailed mechanical panel. I don't know what's going on there, but he's mastered the ability to draw your eye to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And then, but yet look very detailed and very look, even right underneath the head, look how detailed that is.
But there's a lot of black in those spots too.
Uh-huh.
And look up there.
Yeah.
A lot of black. I'm sure that's
It's
part
just
of
pulling your eye
exactly.
down. I mean, we'll look over here in this first panel. He's framing
mostly
that.
black, yeah.
Yeah. Then you have this middle panel and the cats in the trash and everything, but you've got this. It's just drawing you right there to that.
Pointing to this dude, this fella.
And he opens it up right here with all these details around here that you can see where he's at. He's pointing to it, but it's detailed here just to point to it.
That's so cool. Sorry.
Was that sarcasm? I can't tell.
It was a little bit of both. I do respect it.
Well, now I'm going to go to the next panel.
That's
So, okay,
okay.
so then he goes to Marvel, and this is Thor.
Color.
Yeah, it is colored, very brightly colored.
Very brightly.
I think this is probably a remastered color from what
Burn
I'm
my
seeing.
eyeballs.
Yeah.
Look at that green.
Well, this is Thor. And
No, it's not silly. That's the Hulk.
this is in Thor. Jeez. The Hulk is in Thor, which happened a lot. But you know, it's there. You see it, but again, it's almost like he's tamed.
Tamed.
Yeah, it's not as detailed.
No, it's not. I've noticed that. I thought it might have been the colors that were taking away those details.
Yeah.
But no, looking at the backgrounds, it's definitely a lot more tame than the last one.
Yeah. So, and then we have this, and
you can see it in this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost like just get it done. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I think he was, really
Someone
hindered.
had a deadline.
Yeah, maybe by deadline, maybe by editors or whatever the
Rules,
case is.
whatever
It's like,
they say.
oh, we don't need all these lines. Take this out. We don't need all this. Take this
Oh,
out.
I'd be so angry.
Being like, but
You can ask me to add stuff,
but you're
if you
trying
ask
to
me
become
take
somebody.
away,
You're trying to be something. You're trying to make your way into this. That's
you're not gonna fight it.
no, you're not. So here we have another one.
This one's a little bit more detailed.
It's a little bit more detailed.
It's where the
and
action's at.
It's where the action's at. I think he was able to spend a little bit more time on this page and get it done. But then we get into when he's finally free and he's on his own. Oh, here's one. Yeah, this page, however, gives you a little glimpse of that early Eric Larson. Right? You have that zip through there.
This might be the most detailed I've seen from this.
Thor's hammer. What's it? Joseph? Thor's hammer, Joseph.
What do they call it? Oh my god.
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. Right?
Mjolnir.
Mew
Yeah.
Mew.
Yeah, sure.
Mew Mew.
That you could
What
spell
did
it.
Paul Rudd say?
You could spell it in the comments, and we still wouldn't know
Oh,
how to
God,
pronounce
no.
it. No, but you see, he's got enough here to detail and still tell what's going on.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick. Now,
That's the color. I just keep getting caught up in the colors.
but then we have his own book, Savage Dragon,
Ooh.
and this is mixed with Mars Attacks. for
Oh,
some reason.
what?
And he's just now. This reminds me. Now here, this here. This is actually. I think this is actually taken from. I've seen Todd McFarlane do this, but I think this is actually taken from Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. Did about the same thing
Oh, okay.
with this, but yeah, but it's still clear enough around these characters that you could tell what's going on.
Does he draw a lot of fish, man?
Savage Dragon is his main character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a dragon, not a fish.
Dragon, my bad. He's got a fin. What am I supposed to say?
Oh, yeah, because he's a dragon.
Do dragons have fins?
What's kind of cool about Savage Dragon, though, it's been going on for years. It's in this 300th issue. He's been drawing and writing them that long, for years, right? Going on almost 30 years.
30 years?
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
I don't care how much you pay me. I'm not doing that
Yeah.
for 30 years.
But here's the thing. It's not this Savage Dragon anymore. It's his son.
Ooh.
So he's progressed it
So
in those 30
yeah,
years.
okay.
That's kind of cool.
That's kind of sick.
Yeah.
But still the same series for that long.
And I thought this was actually kind of a cool page.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah. There's your C. This is probably a T.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back to the busyness, the
alphabet.
details.
Yeah. Look at
Definitely pulling back
chicken
from his
man
origins.
here. I don't know who this is, but that's freaking awesome. Coming out at you. This is just like dynamic, right?
Very.
And now, does this look like it could be manga?
Maybe.
Like not in the sense of how the style is, but in its action oriented.
I could see this with
Like
some screen tones. Yeah.
yeah.
I could see that. The big lettering, the zap and stuff.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah. So you kind of wonder, man, maybe some of that kind of adds to some things, right? Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's saying something.
Maybe just a little bit. And this will be the last page by Eric Larson. We're going to take a break and listen to some NFTs. But yeah, I like this. I like the second panel up here, where she's just kind of wilded out with the hands out and everything. It's just it looks like a fun book. I mean, granted, their faces on this first panel kind of like that could bug me a little bit, but it really doesn't.
I'm more worried about her knees. Why are they going inward? They look like buttons.
Well, for women, like
No.
like
He's gonna tell me about my own anatomy.
No. No.
stay out of
Where's
this.
going with that?
But even still. But so anyway, so let's go ahead. Let's take a quick break with the moments at the NFT collector.
Oh, it's
And
about
this-
time.
Yeah, this is going to be part one. This one went
Oh.
on. I think we're going to be about 3 parts. This one went on for a little bit. So we'll be right back with our
What are you
next.
doing these poor people?
I'm not doing anything. Well, this one, well, we'll find out. Moments with an NFT collector. Hi, good day. I'm interested in 3 of your artworks as NFT. My offer for each of the artworks is $8,160 or 4.99 ETH. I don't normally sell my art for foreign postage. I'm sorry. I'm not a stamp collector. Oh. We can actually work things out. Have you sold any artwork as NFT? I really do love your artworks. It's outlandish and fantabulous. Fantabulous? I've heard that before. Hey, you ain't trying to scam me, huh? Scam? I understand how the internet is flooded with scammers, and I'll share you a bit of my experience. I was scammed in 2019 with a total sum of $4,000. It wasn't a nice experience for me. Sorry to ask, where are you from? Narnia. Haven't heard of it though. Not many people have been. Okay, Michael. You say you were scammed. How can I be sure you're not seeking revenge on a cruel world and taking advantage of others as you were taken advantage of? Vengeance is of the Lord. And I really don't keep grudges. It's been like 3 years. Oh, okay. So tell me, how do I trust someone who was stupid enough to get taken for $4,000? You don't sound wise with your money. So why'd I keep such in my heart, and on a second thought, I'm actually trying to buy, which means I'm the one sending money. So you say. Trust, some people actually takes advantage of a kind person who trusted them, but that won't stop me from doing my business. Your business of deceit. This has been Moments with an NFT Collector. Again, express that is 100% real interaction.
Wow, you just
Like,
sent that dude into like a spiral. That's his villain.
that was
arc.
her. It was a her.
Oh, my bad.
All right. Well, maybe because that's going to get into something later on too.
Oh.
But
And
but-
losing the accent over time really shows the descent into madness that you sent this person into.
so someone tried to scam me for commission work. They asked if I could take a business check. I was like, no. Believe it or and they're doing that, right? I've gotten that a couple of times on landingart.com. Yes, it's landingart.com. If you have commissions or anything else that you would like to see, always contact me over there at landingart.com. So anyway, at landingart.com, it's LANNING art.com. Anyway, they'll hit you up. I've gotten emails. The same email we had, they'll have like, where we want to do this school project, and it's in two different things, and I have a budget of $700 per picture, which is like $7,000. And it's like, okay, I'll do this. Okay, but I'm going to give you a business check, which is like a check written out by the business. And what they'll do is you'll get the check, you'll deposit the check or something or other the lines, and it will come back, and they'll have to release it or some bogus BS or whatever the case is, where they end up scamming you. Just like her, she'll tell you that, oh, I'm giving you money, and she'll even offer I don't know if she does it on this one. We'll find out in the next couple of weeks. Where it's like, oh, you go to OpenSea, which is a real NFT place. You go to OpenSea.
You this whole process,
right? Well, you go to OpenSea, you make it, you put up your NFT. She'll be like, oh, I can buy it. And then you'll be like, okay. And so she'll go over there to buy it off of OpenSea. Oh, something went wrong. For some reason, it won't come through. So why don't you just sell it to me here, and then I'll.
What a sneaky little bastard.
So that way it looks like it's all legitimate. They're getting wise and easy. You gotta protect yourself. You've got to.
That's why all my jobs go through mommy first.
Right.
Because I could definitely fall for some of these.
Yeah.
I'm desperate.
But that's why you have us telling you.
Yay!
So okay, so here we are. I want you to tell me what you think of this page. This is from Hawk and Dove, DC.
Hawk and Dove. That's a name?
Yeah, these are two
birds? Hawk and
yes,
Dove?
They were superheroes. They were Titans. Will you stop? Will you just watch? Did you just
Sorry. All right. Just there's a lot of bird related superheroes.
Well, yeah, flight. I mean, superheroes fly. It's not really that.
Some of the less original ones. Anyway, the definition's pretty good. The close up on that face.
Yeah,
I like the
right.
brows.
Look at that. Right.
I love brow lines.
Look, this has look right here. This angle on this car down here.
That's pretty sick.
Him pulling out that pipe.
What's
cool.
he doing? Sorry.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm my mother's child.
Oh. Ooh.
Ouch.
Look at the definition in this, right? On this pipe and stuff.
And how old is
this? This is late 80s.
Okay.
All right.
It's pretty good for 80s, actually.
It really is. Now watch. Hold on.
That sets a standard.
Now here we go. Some people might recognize who this is already. So. But look,
sorry.
he's still, under the. This is DC, so I don't know how rigid DC was with their art.
That is a wild character design right there.
Yeah.
Is that his
That's
cape?
Hawk. Yeah.
That's sick.
You like that?
I do. It's so dorky.
It's like feathers, right?
Overpowering. Yeah, I kind of like it. I feel like you don't see stuff like this very often anymore.
And he's like roping them up, and he's really going at it, right? He's just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Very detailed.
Here, and then look at this slanted panel here.
I like that.
Right.
It's cool. You can feel the charge.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Mm.
Great. This is Rob Liefeld.
Rob Liefeld. I recognize the name.
Yes, Busty Captain America.
You are kidding.
I am
You are
not.
freaking joking right
I
now.
am not.
The guy with the muscle fetish did these
The
pages.
pouches and everything. Yep.
What? No.
Yep. In fact, I believe he even
But this guy is
designed his
regularly
character.
proportioned. What are you saying?
Exactly.
What
Yes.
happens?
This is I think he kind of broke into the thing where he started to veer towards a certain style. But you're gonna see it that you had that Captain America or whatever, and you got to think at that point in time he's at the top of his game, and he's probably so freaking busy.
Oh yeah.
He makes fun of it to this day.
Does he?
Yes, he
Thank
does.
God, because I would feel really bad if he's so proud of that.
Yes, he does.
Face.
He does. But you have to understand too that you're under a crunch, you're under a deadline. You got everything, and at that point in time, he was also inking and his own stuff too, under the influence of Topic Frozen, who said, "Hey, you need to tell them that you want to eat your own stuff. Hey, you want to tell them you need to write your own stuff."
Not everyone's built like that, Ty.
But even still, so here we got this. Now we're going to look at some of his this is some of his image stuff. Oh no, wait, we're still because I was fascinated by this. I mean, just look at the building. Look, his angles. What he does here, there's your J.
Whoa!
Yeah, coming around just like that. It's coming out in foreshadowing, right? I mean, not foreshortening, right?
For sure.
Yeah, but look at this smile. Look at this mouth. I really want you to take a look at this mouth because I was not a Rob Liefeld fan growing up, and I'm going to show you why. But you see that smile?
Yeah.
It's a really good smile.
It's a pretty good smile.
It's a pretty
Some
good
of the
smile.
best faces I've seen out of this lineup so far.
It really is.
Especially for older comics.
It's amazing. And now he's about 18, 19, maybe 20 years old at this point in time. He's young. One of the youngest guys out there. It's one of the youngest guys in the bullpit.
That's got to be intimidating.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure.
So I'm sure he's taking a lot of crap. Right? But now this is actually some of his Marvel stuff.
Yeah, you can see the busty Captain America.
Yes.
Maybe with the coloring. Maybe that's
it's almost like it's some of the faces. He squished his faces in and really defined those cheekbones coming out.
Oh, he loves definition.
And it's kind of and it's kind of like
he loves muscle.
Well, the faces are really what kind of never really caught with me, right?
Why does it feel like they got less defined? I don't like.
I think he was looking for a style,
maybe,
or maybe he was streamlining it. Right, he was still being able to keep his art the way he wanted it to, but he was finding a way that he could get it done faster because it's not disproportioned. It's not it is definitely a style.
It's good art.
Yeah,
in like agreeably is good. It's not what it was before, though.
But these mouths always drove me crazy. This was a frequent. See this mouth in the first panel and the last panel.
I feel like he's throwing lines in there just to throw lines in there.
Well, that's a 90s thing.
Is it?
That was straight up 90s.
That's what's driving me nuts. Like I feel like they don't have any direction.
There's no. It kind of lost economy of lines to an extent, but it looks great penciled.
Oh, I'm sure.
So,
just filling in space with random lines.
Yeah.
Like not wrinkles or anything.
So, but
it's a little. I'm trying to figure out what's a panel and what's not. This dude's on a stone slab, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Okay, you look here. Yeah, it's on. But you see why? Because he broke here.
The coloring is throwing me off.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because look at how like the background almost completely matches up with what's in the foreground.
I'm pretty sure this is where digital coloring started to take place.
Oh.
I think I might be wrong though. Again, don't quote me. See this? Is that black or blue?
Oh my gosh. Like a navy?
Maybe? Okay, right. This is what Wolverine's uniform looked like.
I will fight you.
Jeez.
Blue and yellow?
Zoomers.
No, it was blue and wait, what? No, sorry. It was yellow and black.
No, ma'am.
You got me confused now. I'm not crazy.
They even make the joke about it in X-Men.
It's not yellow and red. That's for freaking sure.
So this is some of his image stuff. This is
oh my god, right back to okay.
Cyberforce?
How old is this?
Yes. 92, 93, maybe 94. I can't I can't remember. In that 90 range, it all blends together. Don't I'm old,
Michael
but
says lol.
I mean, still though. Okay, so his mouth's open here a little bit,
They're all kind of coming at the same angle.
but
I feel like that's the same pose.
yeah,
Am I tripping?
no, but now he's running the studio.
Okay.
Now he's got several mics like LOL. It's
Thank you, Michael.
but yeah, so but
Engaging commentary. Sorry.
Mr. Michael.
Sorry, Mr. Michael.
I'm just kidding.
Devontae.
please, Michael is. Let me tell you something. We appreciate you, Michael,
We
a
love
lot.
Michael.
We do.
Yeah, you better come back.
He does.
Often?
Yeah, he at least a like.
Oh no.
No, I'm serious though. That's great.
Where's this page from?
What is this page? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I got this from Cyberforce #1, maybe. It's possible. It's around that era. It's really early on. So, and I think this was page. I believe this was from #1, and it's still a pretty dynamic page. Yeah, you're right. It is almost the same, but I mean, when you're falling from a helicopter, how much?
Yeah, I know.
How much different?
That wasn't like
But
an
again,
insult.
you're head of a studio,
Or
right?
critique.
Oh, Michael, we love you too.
Oh,
He said, "I love this
Michael,
channel."
You're my favorite right now, Michael. Don't tell anyone
He
else.
said, "Looks like a Liefeld style," and that is exactly what
Oh,
it
yeah.
is. It is pure D Liefeld. But you got to think he's at this point in time in history. He's running a studio now. He's the youngest guy who's running a studio. They just started Image Comics. Now, Image Comics is a publisher. They're not a studio. They were individual studios. At this point in time, Extreme was his studio. So he had several artists that were working for him. So now he's like the boss. And he's got to keep that. Plus, he's also got to put his name out there and his artwork out there to keep this going and to keep this pumping, right? So you got to think, okay, yeah, it might be the same art or it might be the same pose, but it's getting it done to tell the story, right?
And this is what is this, a splash page?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, to an extent, right? I mean, you had a panel appear. This isn't splash page.
Yeah, I'd count that.
It might even have a double open up too.
It might. I mean, it looks like it's cut off.
Yeah.
It's a
So.
pretty good page. The color is a lot better than the last one. I can define the
but
characters.
now
from the
we get
background.
into, and I think this is from #2. This is, of course, respectfully dedicated to Jack the King Kirby.
Respectfully, if this was black and white,
Yes,
this would be so much easier to look at.
I can see that.
It's I'm sure the inking is good.
Could you say
I just can't
some
see
of this? Some of this looks a little X-Men-ish, but that's what they were doing, right? They were that was what they do. They were pencilers. For the most part, they were all pencilers. Some of them were writing. Liefeld was writing New Mutants, but he wasn't as experienced at that point in time.
I feel like I'm discovering new characters the longer I look.
Yeah, right. Like he's punching somebody up here. I didn't even notice that. And there's a leg
peeking out. What's she doing back there?
So there's a lot going on. But you know what? One of the things that they consistently tell you is, "Oh, we didn't draw feet. They didn't like drawing feet." But I have seen a lot of feet.
What's wrong with feet?
Well, they were just saying, like, Image, they didn't draw feet. So
I don't know if I believe that.
I can't. I don't. But there were pouches on this guy. There definitely were pouches. But looking at some of Liefeld's art, I think he had stuff that had a lot of pouches, but that wasn't really like a whole bunch of, like, he didn't put pouches on everything.
Well, that's not what he's known for.
That's not what he's known for.
No.
But right, so.
I can see.
But you look at it. But now here's a dynamic splash page. Not everybody's doing the same thing. You know.
This is okay. I'm kind of having a hard time focusing on it. I mean, clearly, dude up front, you can see him clear as day.
Yeah.
Everything else in the background, it's what is going on? It could be the coloring. I don't know. What's the composition here? What?
Well, it looks.
Shape is this?
Hmm.
It's clear that they're coming out.
Pyramid.
Maybe.
Diamond.
Yeah, you can see that.
Diamond.
I see that.
Yeah.
There are some things that sort of take away from that, though.
Like what?
I don't know. Like, okay.
Like this leg?
Yeah, like the breaking out of it is what's driving me crazy. And it's not the worst thing in the world. Not by a long shot. It's still a good page, but it can be distracting in some segments.
He might could have loosened up a little bit of detail in his background.
That's
here.
that's probably most of the
Right here on
my
this
issue
left hand
with
side
it.
of the page.
Yeah, because it's hard to tell the character from the background.
Yeah, I could see that. I
should
could
have
see
focused
that.
more on the foregrounds, just a little.
Maybe talk to Eric Larson.
Or maybe
about
color
this
your
a little bit more.
lines.
Huh?
Color the lines of the background.
Yeah, that wasn't really a big thing at the time.
It should have been. This was before digital?
No, this was when digital was getting.
That's what it should have been used for.
But they were just getting
That would
the hang of
save
it.
so many pages.
Coloring was just starting to become important.
Yeah.
As it were. And so, hold on.
You goober.
Yeah.
There we are.
So now here, my question on this is, what is the standing here?
What's happening?
I'm like, look at the professor back here. How tall is this guy?
Oh my god, you're right.
Look, could you see his jacket go all the way down? So I always thought maybe he was standing on a platform, but you keep seeing the jacket going down. Oh well, that's an ear here, so maybe it just disappears into the thing.
Is perspective all that important here? I mean, maybe you're not. It's clear that's not what you're supposed to be focusing on. It's this JoJo eye looking guy right here. No one should know what that is. Look at that stance.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very strong. But
well, I would not be surprised if a lot of this was influenced.
Oh, probably knowing
to JoJo.
Araki.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with the muscle. I keep coming back to that, but let's be honest. When I hear Liefeld, that's where my mind goes.
Yeah.
They get beefier over time. Look at this.
Yeah, well, but it was that big, strong strength. That's what the people were looking for at the time. It was just this strength to it. It felt powerful.
I'm not a fan of that, to be honest. Never have been. Another reason I never really got into Western comics.
Some of it, I do like it. I guess because of where I grew up, how I grew up, or whatever the case is. It's testosterone. There's testosterone in these pages, folks.
Oh yeah, they're just injecting it straight up.
Well, that's what's happening right now.
Holy crap!
He's getting injected with testosterone. This is Prophet. I think this is Prophet. So he's getting injected with. But if you go back,
this is made for him then.
If you go back to his X-Force, Liefeld's X-Force, this character is reminiscent of another character he created called Shatterstar.
Shatterstar.
Yeah, you
Sounds
saw.
like a My Little
you
Pony.
haven't watched Deadpool. We're gonna have to watch Deadpool.
Oh yeah, I haven't yet. I was a little baby.
Now you're 18 and you can watch Deadpool. Some of the shit you watch now.
Well, okay, it's funny. I wouldn't watch it because I checked the parents' guide and it said it had naughty scenes, and I don't want to watch those in front of my father.
It doesn't have naughty scenes like that.
That's not what the parents' guide said. I monitor myself more than my parents ever have.
Some of those parents' guides are really, really, really strict.
They do push it. And some of them are so vague, it doesn't even matter.
Now, this is a 2011, and this will be the last one we look at. This is very Liefeld. It hurts, and I do not like this drawing.
Good. I feel like I'm growing a beard just looking at this.
Yeah, this is 2011.
Oh.
This is a cover for Cable and Deadpool.
It says so up there.
Yes. This is
so beefy.
Yeah.
So much detail. Why?
And pouches.
Oh, pouches.
So many pouches. Oh, but I think he's leaning into this. So now he's already kind of like I tell you about Tim Burton. I don't think Tim Burton. Now I'm not saying this about Liefeld and what he feels, but Tim Burton I don't think likes this style.
You think he's capitalizing off of the popularity?
I think he gets hired to do his style, and that's what it's
Tim Burton.
That's why he does it, right?
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
I
so
think
you think that's
break
what's
out.
happening with Liefeld
to some extent, yeah. When you want a Liefeld cover, you get a Liefeld cover.
It's a very Liefeld cover.
A very Liefeld cover. I think Deadpool's head's a little small.
Oh yeah, because you got to make room for all the juicy pecs.
This is the problem.
His massive titties. You got to make room for that.
Wow, you heard it here first, folks. And the gun kind of goes. It looks rubber.
Might be compensating for
which
something.
I totally feel that because I'm not good for it. Because look. I mean, it kind of does a curve thing here.
Yeah.
It's a little.
It's
off.
probably from the perspective.
Yeah, well.
It's still a little wonky.
But
though.
I'm not great with guns either, so I'm not holding that against him.
Hey.
But I mean, he's done better guns. He has done better guns. This is just not.
So he.
But see, that just goes to show you. So now here we go. So we have now gone over everybody, right? These were the big guys of.
Those were some big guys.
So these are the big guys of the 1990s. These were the superstars. These were the folks that were
Superstars.
these are what made comics, and they were making headway. I didn't get into Wills Portico, however, but Wills Portico, who is also a founder of Image, did ink the Alpha Flight. I forgot to mention that Jim Lee did.
One of our lives.
See, like I said, see about the pouches. I can respect trying to figure out how a custom superhero carries things. Maybe there are better ideas. Maybe so, but I like drawing pouches, and I don't mind. I don't blame him. I don't hold his Liefeld for drawing pouches either. In fact, come to think of it, I just did a book called The Adventures of Wyatt in Pouches, where I had to draw a lot of pouches.
And you did a pretty damn good job, honestly.
That's right. You're not saying that because you want to stay up later.
No.
But
what? No, it was really good though.
But
I loved your work.
I did like, but I can't. I don't fault somebody for wanting to draw pouches. I like pouches.
They're fun.
They are fun.
Yeah.
But
they add detail where you feel there is none.
So how do you feel now coming into this? You're a budding artist. You've been coming up for the past few years, but now you're kind of coming into a professionalized thing. How do you feel looking at these titans starts and where they ended up?
It feels like I am in the wrong field, just a little.
That's not the feeling that I want to do, and this is not going to be the first time because I want to go into. I want the next go round or the next group that came up after them. You have Joe Mad, you have Chris Pachalo, you've got Humberto Ramos, and some of their earlier stuff is not that great. I'll even throw a little bit of Sam Keith in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone has their beginnings.
Yeah,
but these beginnings a lot of them were just good, and that's unfair. I mean, seeing the limitations though, that's what's interesting to me because when not every time, but when people have asked me to draw for them before, I felt like I was being held back.
Yeah.
Not every time. In fact, I feel like I've gotten a lot more freedom lately. Please hire me again, Daphne. But I like seeing them break out of that, and I hope to see that for myself someday.
Right.
I like going from fundamentals to actually breaking the rules and doing it like successfully.
Right.
That would be cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes me feel like hope because I'm not where I want to be, and I'm hoping that I will get there. Say Liefeld did a cover for anniversary reprints that were really better than what I have seen before. He really, when he's able to sit down and actually draw, we know Liefeld can draw.
Oh yeah.
And it really gets to a point that he has so much hate against him on the stuff. People have not actually sat there and looked at his stuff. And it's like, okay, is everything great? No, but even Todd McFarlane's not everything's great.
Well, that's just every artist.
But I was really happy to kind of revisit these guys because you could get into this delusion like, oh, it was good back then, but it's not that great now. And that's not the case at all.
No, not really.
That's really not the case. These guys are titans.
Worse, no.
They were giants in the field back then. They still are. It's kind of like looking at Jack Kirby and knowing Kirby. Yep, I said Kirby because we've got to say Kirby. And looking at it. And I think hopefully as far as indie comics are concerned, I don't have a desire to work for Marvel. I don't have a desire to work for DC. Has nothing, and I never did, and even back then. I always wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah.
So, but that we can look at these guys, look at where they were, and look at these guys, look at where they were, and
feel inspired to keep going.
Where they went, and just keep moving forward, right? It's like 10 years, just like William Russell said earlier, like a pro with 10 plus years experience should be able to do 2 pages a day. That's what we do. We want to move towards.
That's insane to me now, but maybe 10 years down the line, that won't seem so
exactly because you're going to be used to what you're doing.
Exactly.
So, and Mike says, I heard Liefeld is really nice at conventions. What's really cool is some of the stuff that I've gotten is actually listening to Robservations, which is his podcast.
Robservations!
And
that's great.
He's told some stories where even he doesn't sound great.
Oh, okay.
Where he's like
non-biased.
He was stealing an artist from Mark Silvestri's Top Cow.
Oh.
And him and Mark got into it. Even parts where he had to sue Todd McFarlane. This whole thing was falling apart in Image Comics. Nobody talks about that. Everybody, where can be the next Image Comics?
Where's the documentary about
this? It's out there. But the thing about Image Comics was what you saw as that core didn't last but a few years. Jim Lee sold out to DC. Rob went back to Marvel to work for Marvel. there's just so many
kinda
different
going their
things that
separate
go that way.
I
So
would
don't.
love to see these nerd
But
fights.
don't. My point is this: let's not look at these guys like what they did. Let's look at what they did to build upon and move forward, not to replicate.
Yeah,
Because we're not
exactly.
going to. We're in a different era,
Exactly. You're never gonna be who you
and
were
we're in
year
a lot
ago.
better era than they were.
That's
So
true.
it's kind of like baseball. Baseball, it's hard to judge. Somebody comes up to bat now with an aluminum bat and they hit a bunch of home runs, and their record is better than the guy back in the 1920s who had a big hard wooden bat that he had to swing.
Oh yeah.
So it's not really necessarily a fair comparison.
No, not at all. I mean, they had to do physical inking, and I can just do that on a tablet in 10 minutes.
Yeah. So
I don't need to buy the tools. I don't need to study each tool.
No.
I just got them.
So what we're going to lean on is so we don't have to lean on those techniques to make us stand out, because if it was digital, that kind of helps the technique a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But what we can lean on is the way that we compose the story, the way that we tell the story, the way that we express the story, right? And that's going to be what we need to look forward to and what we need to explore as indie artists. So with that, next week, I think we're going to do this earlier.
All right. Cool.
We've been trying out the 10 o'clock time slot. I think we're going to come back, guys,
He's sleepy.
for 8 p.m. East Central, which will be 9 Eastern for most folk. And that will be 7 for West Coast
Pretty
guys.
early.
Okay,
If anyone's
but hey, look, even if you don't catch us live, leave a like, leave a comment, share, subscribe. We're going to be here. We'll
Sell
go
us
talk to
your
you.
soul.
We will. Hey, wait a minute.
Wait,
No, that comes later.
we're coming for you, Michael.
This-
He's kind of like a co-host in this tonight.
There you, hey, that's great. We love engagement here. Please engage.
Oh,
Even if we
yeah.
say something wrong, correct me. I don't
Please
mind.
correct us.
Yes,
That would
please.
be so funny.
I do not mind. What do you mean funny?
Nothing.
So anyway, leave a comment. Even if you're watching, guys, if you're watching this on a rewatch, leave a comment. We will get back to you.
Give us
And
engagement.
that's absolutely.
Do it.
Who knows? If we're lucky, it might be a comment that we address at the beginning of the next show.
Ooh.
So next week, join us at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, coming a little bit early, so you guys don't have to stay up to see us, because we know you are.
Aw.
All
I know
right.
you were just waiting.
So from Jaden Lanning and C. Mikey L.
Don't ever say it. Stop doing that. When did this start? We were surprisingly positive in this one.
Mike says, I look forward every week for the shows on this channel. Speaking of which, I'm glad you reminded me, Mike. Tomorrow we have Sunday Funnies. We'll be going over Gil Kane. I asked Randy Zimmerman of Arrow Comics, who heads up Sunday Funnies and Comics by Night on Fridays.
Ooh, promotion.
Yeah. Right here on the IndieComicsNetwork.com. To hold off to do Gil Kane, who is a classic illustrator and one of my favorites.
Wow.
So I'm going to be joining him in the morning. I don't know how. That's why I'm going to go earlier from now on Sunday Funnies, which is at 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, but he's got to get his beauty sleep.
So we're going over to Gil Kane. And then I'm also going to be on JD Calderon's show talking indie comics on a Sunday on IndieComicsNetwork.com.
Oh, you're busy.
Where I get to ask a question. That's right. I'm a co-host there. So check that out. That's at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central tomorrow. I'm going to be busy, and I need to draw comics.
Your brain is full of dates right now.
Oh, my gosh. And as always, check out the other guys like Hazard Productions, Rodney Fikes, Fike It on Monday, and Thursday Night Throwdown, which I sometimes show up on with Rodney and Richard. Also, don't forget the vlogs where Daphne and Nita talk about God knows what they talk about. I heard.
I don't watch it.
Don't watch last week. No, you're forbidden.
I heard it through the
You
walls
can't
and I
watch
got
it.
scared.
You cannot watch it
I'm not
unless you're 21, and I don't. And if you do, don't tell me.
21. I'm not watching my mom talk about that kind of stuff, no matter what.
And then
age
look
I
for
am.
other things coming up as well as Hung on Animation. Of course, Mike Jimmy just got married and he's about to have a baby.
Oh.
So, congratulations, and yeah.
I think we're out.
I think that's it. So if I missed anybody, see him Vic Medina does his show.
Golly.
He needs to art on Tuesdays. So check that out. Vic's a really great guy, fantastic artist. Yep, that's right. Yep, Vic
Michael
Medina.
keeping us in check over here.
Yeah, there you go, Mike.
Thank
All
you,
right now.
Devontae.
So anyway, anybody I didn't mention is going to be in the outro. And by the way, before we leave, I want to put this out there. You can get for 10% off your Gemini mailers. Use coupon code RAGING10 at checkout on the Gemini Comic Supply website. So check that out. That is
We're grateful.
That's right. And of course, questions, comments, or show inquiries, contact us at indiecomicsnetwork@gmail.com. Say goodnight, Jaden.
Good night, Jaden.
Till next week.
Bye.
You have been watching Art Style Kamikaze. If you've experienced headaches, bleeding, or a pleasurable euphoria, please consult a physician. Unless you like that kind of thing.